Welcome back to the part B of this week's podcast. Next, we're going to talk about a few views here on the big footy fix. We're going to go with the X medal. What's your point of view on the X medal this year, Coach? Who do you reckon has got it in the bag, or do you reckon it's close?
I reckon first part of the season I thought Ablett was a standout, but things even up in the EFC. And I think there's quite a few candidates going around at the moment. You got the Swans, the Pendleburys, the Judds. Ablett, Selwood's coming pretty good.
Yeah, Selwood might have pitched a few votes late in the season, so that might not help him.
Nick Revolt, can't overlook the big blonde German.
Yeah, well, he's played for the Vipers and they've been in good form in the second part of the season. So
Lenny Hayes.
Yeah, a few candidates.
We hope Ablett, but.
Well, I'm just hoping it's not a walkover. Ablett's been probably the standout this year. I'm just hoping that it's not a walkover. Won't be good for TV if Ablett's up by 30 votes heading into round 12. But
I think it'll be great viewing.
At the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if Ablett was up by 30 votes.
He was a long way ahead last year and went down.
Yeah, then he got soft ankles and that was it.
No soft ankles this time round.
No, he's had to work on that this year.
Buggered groin, buggered calf, but the ankles were right.
Yeah, So Ablett's your tip, but could be close. You got fingers crossed, I can see, when you're mentioning
Touch
Ablett.
wood Ablett.
That's not real wood, by the way.
Touch fake wood Ablett. And yeah, well, Ablett or Swan. I'll stick with Ablett.
Alrighty. No worries. There you have it. Ablett or Swan. Put your money on those two for the X medal. You've heard it from the coach. Alright.
If you can bet on first half of the season, go Ablett. Second half, go Swan. Go the draw.
Go a draw. We've had one of them in the X medal before, so we wouldn't be surprised if that happened. So we'll head on to the next bit of views here. Just want to touch back on Peter Bell taking over from Jared Neesham. I know we've mentioned it a few times already.
Crazy.
What I didn't mention is how's Peter Bell. Remember back in the old AFL days, back in 1995, being delisted or sacked after 2 games from the Dockers by Jared Neesham. I reckon it's the ultimate irony that he's now taken over from Jared Neesham and he's on the way out.
Well, Neesham got rid of him and he got 2 premierships out of it, Peter Bell, so he might come back and get another premiership out of taking over from Neesham.
I actually had a word to Neesham during the week and he's not taking it too well, and I think he's...
Gutted, I thought he'd be.
I think he's actually hit the drink a bit. I just want to show you this photo here, Coach. Just tell me what you reckon. What do you reckon? He looks like a...
Well, I was actually with him that day. We're knocking a few back, and I'm glad you didn't get a photo of me. Looks like you got a photo of one of Neesham's kids in the background too.
Yeah, well, he's
playing a bit of Marnbrook.
I don't think he's shaved since that the big news. He got rocked last week and told he was sacked. So,
he's a larrikin.
Yeah,
Yoda they call him. But the force was not with him.
No, the force is now with Peter Bell, who's about the height of Yoda. So, but yeah, Peter Bell coached 1 game now and is heading into the finals. I just mentioned it before off air. If he wins 5 straight here, he'll be 5-0 in his career and have a premiership medallion hanging around his neck. So
can't see it happening, Bang Bang. Cannot see it happening.
Well, they'll have to come from 7th, and they've got the rage this week.
Well,
we know the rage, but we're going to talk about this week's games.
Peter Bell will be pretty nervous, I'd imagine.
I'd imagine so. We'll get stuck into this week's games, the first week of the finals. Friday night, we've got my boys, the Fusion, at home to the Firebirds. How do you see that one panning out? Who'd you tip for that one?
Well, I think both top teams could actually lose this week, Bang Bang.
Yeah.
I don't think they will, but it's 2 very danger games. I mean, the Firebirds on their day can be quite devastating, but as I mentioned beforehand, passengers.
Yeah,
all they do is slow a car down. I know.
A Mackey is an avid listener of the podcast, so he's going to be out to prove you wrong this week. So thanks very much for that.
I think Fusion will get up. Home ground is a big advantage in this league, especially all those morons at Amy Stadium. I don't think they've got a brain between them.
At the boutique Adelaide Stadium, you mean? Not the one that's fallen apart.
With the $50 million upgrade.
Yeah, about to. 350 or something, wasn't it?
350 million.
Something like that.
quite a bit.
Oh, they've got money to throw around.
Here
down
the
there,
owner's
Stingrays.
just getting an extra $50 million from the council, so
Yeah.
he's pretty happy, I heard.
Oh, well.
But no, I think Fusion in a tight one, although it could be a blowout. Having said that,
It's in Adelaide. On 3 meetings beforehand,
Firebirds were disgraceful last week.
the Fusion are up 2-1 in the head-to-head against the Firebirds, and the home teams won every game out of those 3, so once in Melbourne.
You have to lean towards the Fusion, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I hope the Mongrels lose.
Well,
but
I've got my fingers crossed and I'm going for the Fusion.
what's the next game there, Bang Bang?
The next game... the next game on Saturday at lunchtime, or just after lunch, you're looking at 5th place Subiaco Vipers hosting the Melbourne Dragons. News today is Darren Jolly's facing a fitness test, so he might be right to play.
Is he?
And Alwyn Davey is reportedly going to be back in contention to come back into the Vipers team. Nothing to report from the Dragons, though.
Well, if Jolly doesn't play, then I'd say Dragons, because he's probably the premier ruckman in the EFC.
Yeah, he's
scores a lot of points.
Been brilliant this year, Darren Jolly. Dragons got Shane Mumford in the ruck, who's been doing well over the last couple of weeks since Josh Fraser went down with an injury. So, but
Mumford, 11 tackles last week.
Yeah, he does
Amazing.
all the hard yards. I'm not sure what the Vipers have got behind Jolly. So,
Well, the Vipers have Nick Revolt.
yeah, well, I'm going to go with the Vipers. They've got the premier midfield out of the two. They've got Mitchell, Bartel, Shane Tuck, Nick Maxwell.
Who have the Dragons got running around?
Very inconsistent, the Dragons' midfield, up and down. Cameron Bruce has dropped off in form. He was the only consistent one. He hasn't been doing very much the last few weeks and was dropped on the weekend. So they've had stats.
He's got a pretty good record against the Vipers, though, Cameron Bruce.
Yeah, so he may come back into the team this week. But I'm going to go with the Vipers. That's my tip for the game.
Yeah, I'll stick with the Vipers.
Loser will be out, so I'm tipping the Dragons not to be around next week.
Pack your bags, Dragons.
And on to the Saturday night game, we've got your boys, the South Adelaide Stingrays, hosting the Canberra War Dogs.
Very nervous.
Very nervous. Canberra, hot off their big win last week, 174 points.
Yeah.
Incidentally, just to go back again, the Dragons are playing their first ever game against the Vipers at Subiaco too, so that might swing people's votes towards Subiaco. They've met 3 times before. Dragons have won 2 of them. The most recent clash this year, the Vipers won, but all 3 of them have been in Melbourne. So, yep. Anyway, on to the Stingrays game. Their head-to-head is 1 apiece. The latest one went to the Stingrays this year in Canberra.
Dour kind of match, that one.
Yeah, low-scoring game. It was 118 to 112. It was in Canberra. Last year, the War Dogs done the Stingrays at their home, so the away team's winning both those clashes, but I'm going to go with the Stingrays. Their defence has just been superior this year. I think they're going to shut down the high-scoring War Dogs this week.
Well, Fev doesn't play too many good games in a row.
Yeah, you're right there.
But mind you, I didn't think he was that great last week, but he still, came out all right in the end.
Scored some cheap points, I think.
Yeah, well.
Late in the game.
And I mean, with the Stingrays, with our mob, Ablett was down, Corey was down, Roughhead was down, so...
Yeah.
And you're not going to score 170 every week, no matter who you are.
Especially when you're playing against probably the premier defence in the league. So I'm going to go with the Stingrays. You're going to go with the Stingrays. Yep.
Yes, not convincingly though.
All right.
I reckon it'll be 130, 140, that kind of area.
All right. We're going to have to take a quick break now and we'll be back with the last game.